This is Golf with Jay Delsing. A two-time All-American at UCLA. Competed in nearly 700 PGA Tour events, 7 professional wins to his credit. Over 30 years of professional golf experience. A member of the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame and the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. That was On the Range. Up next, we'll head to the front nine. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing, presented by Doherty Business Solutions.
Welcome into Golf with Jay Delsing on this Sunday morning on 101 ESPN. And with Jay Delsing, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Lots of interviews coming your way and lots of insight into the game of golf. And as we jump right into it, Jay, great to see you, and happy Sunday, as we say.
Absolutely, Danny. Great to be with you. Yeah, we've got some interesting... We got a little bit of everything from the golf world this week. It's kind of fun.
One of the guests is Chandler Withington, the founder of Archive 22. What is this all about?
So, Danny, he takes a bunch of logos and makes artwork and stuff out of logos. It's really cool. If you sit there and think about the different logos from around the country, different country clubs, different, it's really, really kind of neat. It's hard to really explain, but he's done some really neat stuff.
And he's a guy that's had a major background in the game of golf, not just on the art side, which is what he's doing now, but he was a guy that was in those clubs nonstop and making sure that everybody was taken care of.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this guy's, he's worn a lot of hats, Dan. He was up at Hazeltine. He's from the Bob Ford tree, which is super cool, from down at Seminole. So, yeah, he's got a bunch of really cool creds and a really neat man.
I would assume the life of those that are in those pro shops, it's tough. It is very tough. So this is probably a way to stay in the game of golf, keep his hand in it, but yet do something that's his passion.
No doubt, Danny, and he'll get to make his own schedule. He'll get to spend more time with his wife. He's got, I think, 3 daughters, and so we both know what that's like. So, yeah, it's. I mean, he's much more of his own boss now, and I mean that's super important.
Now, later in the show, you have made a visit to Fox Run, and for folks that know about Fox Run here in St. Louis, well, they're going to get some insight on what's going on now.
Forget it. It is unbelievable. It is. Look, is it overboard to say, because you and I are golf geeks and nerds, is it overboard to say it's spectacular? Is it? I mean, what they've done on the very first hole will blow you away. It's just super cool. You got to see it. I can't wait to talk to. So we're going to be with Jeff Budrovich and a little bit of his staff. And Arlen Hill is a superintendent out there, D, and he is a super interesting guy and really knows what he's doing.
How'd the course look?
Unbelievable. Made me want to play. I kept looking at Jeff. I'm like, dang, I wish I'd have brought my clubs. And so no one's played it yet because it's all been in the renovation. And it's unbelievable how much grass has grown in 8 months, man. It is perfect. It's beautiful.
Well, when does it open up?
It's opening up next week, I think, to the members. So they're going to get to see it first. And then they're going to have it that new 9 and the old 9 for a couple, 2-3 weeks and do their member guest and things like that. Then the day after, Jeff said, literally, we're going to follow the last group with a bulldozer and we're going to start plowing stuff up. So he's just a great guy, loves the game, Danny, and just cares a lot about this place. It's really special to him. He wants to keep it special and share it with a bunch of people. So why not?
That's Jay. I'm Dan, off and running. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. Coming up, Chandler Withington. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing, presented by Doherty Business Solutions.
Doherty Business Solutions has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, Mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year right out of high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year right after high school graduation. That's when they begin their training. CEO Ron Daugherty believes the talent is equally distributed, but access to that opportunity is not. So here's Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. It's Daugherty Business Solutions.
Get ready to watch the legends of golf up close when they compete at historic Norwood Hills Country Club right here in St. Louis. The Ascension Charity Classic will be back again with some of golf's greatest names: Steve Stricker, Padraig Harrington, John Daly, David Duval, Bernard Longer, Justin Leonard, David Toms, and more will compete, returning September 3rd through the 8th. Visit AscensionCharityClassic.com for information.
If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, any make or model, then you need to visit the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. They are the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show. My daughter and I both drive vehicles supplied by Colin and the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, and it's because we know we can trust them. They made the car buying experience painless and easy, and their customer service is second to none. Every single step of the car buying experience was taken care of for us. You can reach Colin at 314-966-0303, and he will answer all of your questions and put your mind at ease. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood has new or pre-owned vehicles to be purchased or leased, whichever you prefer. Once you visit the Dean Team Volkswagen on Manchester in Kirkwood, you'll be a customer for life because they will treat you like family. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
Hi, this is Peter Jacobson, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Are you driving an out-of-warranty car? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing you thousands of dollars. Auto repair costs are up nearly 20% from last year, which is 4 times the rate of inflation. If an unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready for that? Well, now you can be with a plan through CarShield. Even if your car is just over 3 years old, it's still prone to expensive costs. Your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. Traveling by car is a way of life. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are a daily essential. When you enroll in a car protection plan through CarShield, you can look forward to the following. The price will never go up no matter how many claims you file, or no matter how high the mileage on your car increases. CarShield offers protection plans that start as low as $100 per month. That's $100 per month. They have repair coverage for up to 5,000 different parts of your vehicle. Plus, when your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, you get 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance. You also get complimentary towing and rental car options. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down, and they can have yours too. Call CarShield today at 800-465-6550 or visit carshield.com. It's CarShield, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm sitting down with Chandler Withington. He is up in Minnesota. Chandler, thanks for joining me this morning.
Yeah, Jay, happy to be on with you. Thanks for having me on. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, doing just great, buddy. And so, Chandler, you're one of the most eclectic, one of the most interesting golf guys I know. So let's tell the folks a little bit about how you started off in golf, and then we got lots to branch off to.
Well, I think everyone has a story of how they got introduced to the game. It's one of my favorite questions to ask other people. How'd you find it? And for me, I grew up on the East Coast. I'm from New Jersey originally. I grew up playing basketball, baseball, hockey, a lot of team sports. I didn't know a single person that played golf growing up. This was late 80s, early 90s. My perception of golf growing up, Jay, was that was the sport that you started playing when you got older, when you couldn't run.
You couldn't do anything else. You all played golf. Yeah, absolutely.
When it all fell apart, that then you started playing golf. You certainly didn't play it at 12 and 14. This was still 5-6 years away from Tiger kind of showing us that golf is an athletic sport. But we went down to Hilton Head Island during our spring break week after the Masters in 1992. And we're actually staying on a house on Harbor Town. And all of my cousins from Atlanta were the golf side of the family. And the PGA Tour is going on in our backyard. And my cousin said, hey, come on, let's go watch golf. And I was like, I'm good. You guys go ahead. Eventually, they got me out there. And I think if anyone listening can remember the first time they saw professional golf, you see, especially somebody hit a driver. But the sights and sounds of golf in 1992 were metal spikes coming up the cart path. You could hear them coming. And here come these players through the crowd with their caddy following them with this big bag of shiny clubs. And they get up on the tee and then they hit this little ball farther than you could see. And it just captivated me. And the younger player at the time, young back then was 27. So he hit a persimmon driver out of sight. And it's like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And we followed him around all week. He ended up winning the tournament. And driving back to New Jersey from that trip is when I started telling my family, I want to learn how to play golf.
Chandler, who won that? Who won that event? Because I was playing them. I played in that tournament. I did not win.
Davis Love?
Yeah, Davis, right on.
Davis had such a run with that tournament, but he was younger, made it look effortless and easy. And my education when I got back home was whenever Davis was in a tournament on the PGA Tour and in contention, I turned on the VCR. If anybody can remember those three letters, this was YouTube before. This was YouTube for a kid that grew up in 1992. Was the VCR and watch and rewind and watch and rewind, and then go in the backyard and try to imitate what I was seeing. But that was my introduction. That's what got me on the hook. And I started caddying at a great filling house in New Jersey called Somerset Hills that summer.
Yeah, great spot.
And that was my start. It was kind of an accident, but one I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, so then let's fast forward to you getting this dream job, and you're part of the Bob Ford tree, which is just such a spectacular thing. It reminds me of the Bill Belichick tree in the NFL, where all of you guys got to train under such an icon, and then you went out and became your own sort of icons. And you land this job up in Minneapolis at Hazeltine, which is, you had to feel like a rock star at the time.
Maybe. I think everyone's journey, it's never a straight ascent, right? There's closed doors and sideways turns. And I had come out of school. I went to Campbell University in North Carolina, and I came out of school like most, ready to conquer the world, and off we go. And I was 2 years out of school, and I got laid off from my first job, and kind of had to crawl across town to another club that had just opened just after 9/11. And I was really just trying to figure myself out at the time. I wasn't so committed to being a golf professional that I couldn't walk away from it at that time. I got a lucky break. I ended up going back to Canoe Brook, which is in Summit, New Jersey. I'd done all my internships there in college, and the head pro there was a former assistant at Oakmont. His name was Greg Lecker, and Canoe Brook ended up being this great pathway to working for somebody like Bob Ford. And I got lucky to end up at Seminole in 2004 and 2006. And then another door opened because somebody kind of turned around and looked out for me, and they sent me on to Marion in Ardmore, Pennsylvania in 2007. But Jay, then in 2009, I got married, and I started interviewing for head jobs, and I was interviewing for all different kinds of little clubs and local to Philadelphia, national clubs, some in the South, some in the North. I was getting really close. I think anybody who's interviewed for a job, you understand that there's hundreds of people going for one job, and there can only be one winner. Every time that I didn't get it, I learned a little bit more about the process and about myself. I think the best people who interview are the people that know themselves really well. The opportunity came open at Hazeltine in late 2012. And, by then I really understood who I was, how I could help a club. And it all comes down to fit. It's got to be a fit for both sides. And for what I did well, it was just a fit at the time for what Hazeltine needed. So this was the fall of 2012. And I think to your point, I'm going to Hazeltine, and we know the next home Ryder Cup in 2016 is at Hazeltine. And you actually just used a phrase from the tournament chairman for the 2012 Ryder Cup at Medina was a guy named Don Larson, and I had lunch with Don, I think maybe in 2015. And he looked over at me and he goes, "Are you ready to become a rock star?" The Ryder Cup is that event. It will change your life if you get to be intimately involved with it the way that I was. And it's hard to imagine my life without that event now having happened, now 8 years later.
Chandler, I was there. I was activating my old company. We were activating, and so I was entertaining. I had never seen patriotism and never seen a massive group of people come together in a more unified way than the 2016 Ryder Cup. And we absolutely squashed, the Euros, but the Patrick Reed and Rory McIlroy battle, the Sergio and Phil Mickelson battle. There's some epic golf moments that happened that week, but none of it happens without you and your staff just tirelessly getting that place together.
Well, I think there's so many people involved. I actually would make the joke that if I had taken the week off that week, no one probably would have noticed. I think there's so many people that are prepared to do their jobs, and that starts with the leaders at the club, from the tournament chairman, Patrick Hunt, to then the tournament director, Jeff Hintz from the PGA. Those are really the two people doing the heavy lifting. And then I'm just there to support. So much of my job is, it's getting our staff ready for all the days that lead up to it. And then we have some job responsibilities the week of the Ryder Cup. But really, it's my role leading up to it was just to engage the local community, help them understand what this event is, why you don't want to miss it. And it's funny, we kept telling everyone that this will only happen here once in your lifetime. And then a couple of years after 2016, the PGA turned around and said, we want to come back. And they're set to come back in 2028, which is now 2029. But you think it's going to be one of these once in a lifetime opportunity events. And for some of the moments that you just mentioned, you can't control the storylines and the moments that you get, like the Reed Rory Mac match and Phil and Sergio, and then just the outcome and getting a win and the weather. It's like planning a wedding. You can do all the planning and preparation, but there's some things that are out of your control. And the things that we couldn't control went our way. So sometimes the stars just kind of line up. But when you look back on it, you realize just how many people were involved behind the scenes, front of house, to make it all kind of go the way that it did.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing, and I'm visiting with Chandler Withington. And Chandler, is there any one thing that sticks out in your mind? I can remember being out in the crowd and texting Davis, he was the victorious Ryder Cup captain, and saying, "Man, this is so cool. I'm here. I'm so proud that and he's like, "Come on up on the stage." I'm like, "Yeah, no, that's not going to happen." But one of the things I thought was really interesting is that all went down without Tiger in terms of playing. And, when I watched him, he almost looked like he wasn't even part of the team in terms of, it's almost like he wasn't sure how to have fun. He wasn't sure how far to go. And all the other guys were just letting it rip.
There's a lot of things that I remember from that week. You're touching on Tiger. He was an assistant captain that year. And we have to remember where Tiger was in 2016. He went through his form wasn't great in 2015. He had the chip yips. He was shooting scores in the 80s. Then went to have spinal fusion surgery, and then he really disappeared. We didn't really see him at all in 2016. So when he got to Hazeltine for the Ryder Cup, I think we saw a person who was in need of community and friends, and to be around people. I think he was just so happy to be there and be a part of a group, and to be seen, and to contribute the way that he did. I would say, Jay, that the question you're asking, like, is there a moment that it so sticks out to me in that week? Most people will forget that this happened in the same week, but Sunday night before the week started, going into the Monday of the week, we lost Arnold Palmer that night. We were all in the clubhouse getting ready. We had this big committee chair meeting, and we're getting ready for this exciting, life-changing week. And then all of a sudden, we lose one of the real pillars and influential people in golf. And that night, Rich Lerner and the Live from the Ryder Cup team raced in and went straight to the air to cover the life of the man who started the Golf Channel. I think they ran for about 5 or 6 hours, and I got to sit on the other side of the camera and listen to them retell the life of that man. But it was so many people called in from around the world to talk about what Arnold meant to them and how he impacted them. And not many people talked about the shot that he hit at the 60 Masters, or how
Right.
he came back to win the Open at Cherry Hills. It was just about the person, and I think it was there's no great time to lose a person like that, but if there ever was during that week where we could all just take a few days to step back and look at, Ryder Cups are important, the outcomes, we'll talk about these for years, but when we leave this world, we're not going to talk about the wins and losses. We're going to talk about who we were as a person.
It's interesting, Chandler. Same to me. It's almost like when you try to describe who and what Arnold Palmer was and meant to everyone and the game and just to society. The word icon, I searched for a word and I still have not come up with one. It's similar to when Muhammad Ali passed away because of all of the things that he was involved in for Muhammad Ali and the civil rights and all of those things. But with Arnold, he had such massive impact almost on every single person he touched. And that was a really, really tough loss for the golf world and for humanity in general.
Yeah, and we're still kind of looking for someone to kind of take that torch, aren't we? Not just in golf, but in sports. I think we've lost a little bit of that character. So I'm looking forward to see who can kind of replace that person if they ever can. Yeah,
no, oh boy, you want to talk about big shoes to fill. That doesn't even sniff taking that on. But you're right, and we're in this snapshot of time where, I mean, just look at the two presidential candidates we have. And we're certainly not going to talk politics on this show, but you'd think that, there might be more candidates to offer than the two folks that we have to vote for. And it's just an odd time, I think, right now.
It is. Well, I mean, you look at what's happening in professional sports, collegiate sports. We've had this great disruption, I think, Jay, in what we think matters most, especially in professional sports, with money seems to become the big driver. We look at what name, image, likeness has done to change the landscape of collegiate sports, where we used to be student athletes. We used to be a student first and an athlete second, and now it seems like that's been turned around to where now, look at the transfer portals and how many kids are just jumping from school to school because of opportunities and NIL and money. We're losing ourselves here a little bit to what the purity of sports is supposed to be about, and what you learn about yourself through playing sports. I'm curious to see where it all goes. I'm a glass half full kind of guy, so I like to think that we can correct ourselves here a little bit. But sports is going through a great disruption, and like you, I don't like much of what I'm seeing. I think Arnold Palmer and people like that who've created the stage for these players for what they play for now. And I think the question we kind of have to ask ourselves is how much is enough, and is money really gonna change your life in such a way? We listened to John Rahm talk about that when Liv was coming around. He said, $300 million is not going to change my life or who I am and how I go about it. But then the next year he's doing it. So it's I'm hoping people just don't lose sight of who they are in this whole process. If there's a role that I can play in this conversation, I just want to try and bring people back to what we talked about when we first started this conversation is, who was I when I fell in love with the game of golf? Why did I want to become a golf professional, but not losing ourselves in the process?
Yeah, Chandler, we're talking about the purity and the love of the game and the love for the competition and some things that have much higher value than just the almighty dollar. But boy, we couldn't be in a more disruptive state in the professional game right now. Do you have time to hang out for another? We got to take a quick break. Do you have time to hang out for another segment?
I'd love to. I'm not going anywhere. I'm enjoying talking to you.
Right on. Okay, we'll be right back. More with Golf with Jay Delsing. Recently, my nephew called me and said his basement had flooded and all the hardwood, carpet, and flooring had to be replaced. I told him I have the perfect place for you to go. At Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture, this second-generation family-owned business treats everyone just like their family. Jared Capps is continuing his mom and dad's 50-year business tradition where honesty, transparency, and service carry the day. My nephew loved the luxury vinyl product. Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture has the largest selection in the area. Whether you prefer Mohawk and the wide variety of their product lines, I love the Rev Wood product, by the way, or Karastan or Pergo Elements line, Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture will literally have you covered. You have pets? Let Jared tell you about the many sustainable flooring and carpet options that are pet-friendly but also easily maintained to keep your floors looking great every day. And don't forget about their huge selection of Lazy Boy recliners. They are awesome and one of the biggest selections in the Midwest. Call them today at 618-936-0536 and get your free estimate or set up a consultation with one of their experts. You can also go to jerseyvillecarpetandfurniture.net. Proud sponsor of Golf with Jay Delsing.
Hi, this is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center. At FGLC here in Kirkwood, we feature a double-decker driving range, 2 large grass tees with Tahoma Bermuda grass. You want to work on your short game? We have a short game area too, which features a 20,000 square foot green, 3 bunkers, and Zoysia surrounds. Also at Family Golf and Learning Center, don't forget about our 9-hole par 3 course, the indoor TrackMan simulators, and our performance center. If you're looking for the best golf instruction, regardless of skill, we can help. Find out more at FamilyGolfOnline.com. That's FamilyGolfOnline.com. Family Golf and Learning Center. We make St. Louis better at golf.
I'm delighted to welcome the Amateur Players Tour to the Golf with Jay Delsing show. The APT team has worked so hard to establish a national golf tour for amateurs. Folks, don't miss out on this opportunity. If you love golf and ever wondered what all the fuss about tournament golf is, then this tour is for you. We just released the 2024 schedule, and it is a beast. There's 21 events currently in the metropolitan St. Louis area with many more to come. But check out these golf courses: Paynes Valley, Ozark National, Stonewolf, Ambrier, Persimmon Woods, Gateway National, and a 36-hole event on Norwood's West Course, and many more. Okay, so the courses are certainly cool and nice, but what's really neat is the way the events are run and how they are run. The APT team does a fantastic job of closely monitoring handicaps and ensuring a good and fair competition. There are 5 divisions, a year-long points competition, major championships, elevated events, and much, much more. Right now, there are over 6,000 members in 41 different local chapters across the country. And all that's happened in just over 5 years. Join now and don't miss out on the best tournament golf in the country, run for amateurs by amateurs themselves. Go to amateurplayerstour.com. That's amateurplayerstour.com.
This is Chris Nagel. And you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Are you tired of watching your golf scores go up every year? Despite new equipment and even a couple lessons, you still fight that slice or your inability to get that ball up and down out of the bunker? Well, get ready to experience better golf with Elevate Golf. At Elevate Golf, we're changing the way golfers practice with our innovative and data-driven approach to learning and, most importantly, improving. We have an array of membership options where you can find the perfect fit for your golf, your lifestyle, and your budget. Whether you start in our full-service gym, the short game area that has real sand bunker, or one of our 7 TrackMan simulator bays, the team at Elevate Golf will do a complete assessment of you and your game, which is crucial because if you don't know where you're starting from, it's nearly impossible to attain a goal or a new level. Call us today at 636-265-0557 or visit us at elevategolf.com. That's ELV8golf.com. Contact us today and get ready to play better golf.
For the best in Italian cuisine in St. Louis, look no further than Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield. It's traditional Italian cooking, and their best ingredient? It's their tradition. It's cooking like Paul's grandmother used to make and like his mother still prepares today. There are no corners cut at Paul Manno's. From greeting you at the door to the pasta you'll share with your family, Paul Manno's is committed to bringing you their very best anytime you share a meal at their place. It's Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield.
You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing Brought to you by Car Shield and Doherty Business Solutions. Every Sunday morning from 8 to 10. It features top guests, tips from a PGA Tour player, and the latest news and notes from around the world of golf. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Hey, welcome back. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm visiting with Chandler, Withington. We're really guaranteed nothing. We take so much for granted in our life. We've been able to fall in love with a game of golf, and it takes us on these wonderful journeys. We meet people that we would have never, ever met had we not been involved in the game. Gosh, a parallel story to that with Archive 22. Tell us a little bit about that and how you got involved with this new gig that you're doing.
Well, I think you said it very well. There are no guarantees in life. As much as we like to think that, I'm going to live to see 80, 90, my grandmother-in-law is turning 100 next month. As much as we think that we've got life figured out and we have a plan and we know how things are going to go, we just don't. What you're alluding to, the start of what I'm doing now, I'm no longer the head pro at Hazeltine National. It really started in the fall of 2018. My wife and I welcomed our third daughter into the world. Her name is Charlotte. And smooth delivery, everything went fine. But when we were driving home from the hospital, my wife was just kind of saying, look, I'm having a hard time breathing over here. My chest feels really tight. Something feels off. I said, look, it's probably, what do I know about delivering a child, right? I said, it's probably just overexertion of getting out of bed after delivery. And, but call your doctor, ask some questions. We spoke with our doctor and they said, look, just go back to the local ER. They'll run some tests and you'll have peace of mind and you'll go home and you don't have to worry about it. Ran the test and the doctors came back pretty quick and they told my wife she has a blood clot in her lungs. And I'd never heard the words pulmonary embolism before. The next thing you know, they're whisking her away to an ambulance and rushing her to a downtown hospital. And I've got a 3-day-old in the car seat and I'm driving to the hospital and, life changes when you're driving down the highway and you hear an ambulance coming up behind you and it splits the highway in half and your whole life goes rushing by you in an ambulance. And thankfully they caught it when they did. They were able to treat my wife and we were able to go home about a week later and resume life. But it turns your world upside down from the things that you think are most important and reminds you that life is fragile and it can change in an instant. 3 years later, I made a very tough decision to leave my role as the head professional at Hazeltine National. And that has nothing to do with how I feel about the profession. I loved being a golf professional. I loved Hazeltine National and how my family and I were treated there for nearly 10 years. It was nothing that I wanted to walk away from. But as a father to 3 young girls that are now 12, 8, and 5, I felt this tug of war of, can I be everything to everyone? And the expectations from the job to my family. And Jay, I think I just kind of got to a place of peace of, I'm comfortable with what I've accomplished. It's more than I could have ever dreamed of when I started it, but I needed to choose something else that allowed me to be more present for my family. So I stepped away and future unknown, not really with a plan either. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. I would try to have the next thing lined up. So you can jump from one thing to the next. But where this started, what our company is, Archive 22, is that the first thing that I am is I'm a licensed artist for the USGA and the PGA, the RNA. We're going to start some stuff with the NHL soon. But I started creating these pieces of artwork shortly after that incident happened with my wife in 2018. When we came home, she said, look, I want you to stay close to home. I'm a little shaken up by this. And it took her a amount of time to realize that, being on blood thinners, that she wouldn't clot again and that she would wake up in the morning. But that winter, I stayed close to home and I got the drawing board out. Jay, I don't remember if you can remember back to when you were in high school and you meet with your guidance counselor and they ask you what you're going to do. And my first answer for years was, I want to be an architect. The harsh reality was I just didn't have the grades for it. But that fall and winter of 2018, I just got the drawing board out and just started doodling. And it was just something to really get me through winter and kill time. And I started drawing these pieces that I was drawing them for me and me only. I just wanted to have things on my office wall that would get us talking about golf and the history of the game and all the conversations that I was having at a place like Hazeltine. So I drew what I call the history of the U.S. Open, and then I drew the history of the Ryder Cup and the Open and the PGA and the Masters. And what I kind of do is I use the logos to help tell the story, the logos of all the clubs that have held these past championships and the scores and the champions that have won it. And it's a conversation starter is really why I had them. We never really given any thought to selling these until I left the job, and we had to kind of go back to USGA, PGA, and everyone else and talk about, how do we make this happen? You and I, before we started this call, we talked about these happy accidents in our lives and these paths and these journeys that we can't see coming. And we're on it right now. I didn't see myself becoming an entrepreneur, but I am a risk taker, and we're in it right now. And, the artwork is really the first chapter, and we're starting the second one right now, really as a storyteller and a public speaker, and we're launching a podcast ourselves. But, we're not on this journey alone. The great news is there are all these relationships that we've had with people over the years that have really helped us become successful in this. And again, there's no guarantees. Just how we started this whole conversation is there's no guarantees. We have to earn it every day, but it's all these people like you and your listeners that are joining us for this journey that's making it all possible.
It's so cool. This is Chandler Withington. We're talking about Archive 22, his latest venture, and I've seen your, first of all, art. What? I mean, I thank God you interjected about your architecture and your love for that, because, I mean, Chandler, I have a daughter that is a highly, highly talented artist, and she wants to paint and sculpt and draw as a career. I can't draw a stick figure, man. And when you said you got the sketch pad out, I'm like, nope, I don't think that's something I've ever done. Now, I do like, and this is going to be weird, but I do write things, and I do write some poems and some sonnets and things like that. And I've never told anybody that, but it's interesting when you get to that point in your life, or this flashpoint, whatever's happening, and this side of you comes out. It's really, really interesting for me. When I had some big losses in my life with my parents and some divorce and things like that, there were some really low moments, and this is where some of my writing came out. And I'm interested. I didn't know I really had that side. And when I hear you talk about your architecture, and I've seen your works, these logos and some of the compiling this cool story, it's awesome to have this piece of art tell a story.
It is. It kind of reminds me, and there's a movie that I talk a lot about in my public speaking. I got to spend time with you in the Gateway section of the PGA and back in February and tell my story a little bit. But there's a movie that's really impacted me in so many ways, and that is Back to the Future. In the first way, that being, look, Marty McFly ends up back in 1955, and he's interrupted his family story. His mom has fallen in love with him, and he's desperately trying to put the train back on the tracks because the picture of his life, the more he keeps checking it as time goes along, he's getting erased from that photo. And I think that was the first realization I had, is that if I don't change something here, I'm not going to be in my family photo much longer. I was barely in them to begin with. So that really pushed me in the direction I'm in. But I think the second thing that you just kind of touch on is, if anybody's watched that movie, you remember George McFly was a writer. And, Marty kept saying, like, what is that? And he's like, no. No one gets to see my writing. What if they didn't like it? What if it wasn't good? What if people laughed at it? And I think your listeners, myself included, I think we all kind of have something bubbling around inside of us that the great question is, what would you pursue if you weren't scared to tell other people that you wanted to do it? And it's having the courage to kind of overcome that fear. I mean, Jay, I would tell you, I worked both at the PGA Championship and the US Open last year, and my artwork is on display, and you watch a revolving door of people walking up to your artwork, looking at it, studying it, picking it up, maybe looking at the price, putting it back down, or taking it to the register. And it's a roller coaster of emotions, because I think not only are people buying a piece of art, but they're really buying you. I think whether it's poetry, which you alluded to, but everyone has a creative gene in them. It's however you got dressed in the morning, however you made your sandwich, however you decorated your room. We all kind of have it. It's about how you let it come out. I think the best creativity starts from you're not trying to impress anybody else other than you. And if you can just kind of start there, don't do it for the approval of others. Do it because it's something that means something to you. And if you've gone through an event like you talked about with you lost your parents, it's let that come out. I encourage people to be creative. go down that path, find it, let whatever that is bubbling around inside of you just come out. And that's all that's happened here for me.
It's super interesting. And oftentimes you're not really sure where or how or what this is coming from. And Chandler, one of the things that I think you're alluding to with making this switch from Hazeltine National, the director of golf, the head pro there, the nice position that you had, is that I think a lot of us golfers take for granted the work that the men and women at the PGA's sections from various parts of the country and even the world do for us. And one of the things that happens is that whenever there is some sort of really cool, memorable day going on in society or at the club or whatever, you're usually working and your family is usually without you. And I think when you think about that, I saw that as a kid. I see it now for the men and women that do such a great job of upholding that tradition. It's a lot, man. It's a big ask.
It is. I think the word that I use to describe PGA members and apprentices is it's a sacrificial job. These are people that serve others, and it's also a very rewarding job. We get to be a part of people's lives in so many other ways than just their golf score. I think what I realized when I stepped away was we're there to celebrate these moments with people, like, births of firstborns or grandchildren, weddings, and just significant breakthroughs in people's lives. But you're also there to share in so many of those painful moments, losses of people close to them, loved ones. I mean, you're really intimately involved in these people's lives, much more beyond their golf score. But I think, Jay, what you kind of alluded to is just, the expectations of our time, and the golf industry isn't unique. There are other industries where the expectation of time is so high, because in golf, look, what you just alluded to is when the sun is shining and when people have time off, that's usually when the golf professional is on. And I think we're seeing a shift in the last few years, and not just in golf. I think, since COVID, we've seen the world start to reevaluate, where do I spend my time and what is most important to me and what am I not willing to miss? And I think what we've seen is some PGA members really start to advocate for themselves and say, look, I love the job, but I love my family as well. And I think, both sides can win here if we just balance things out a little better. And I think everyone will be better off because of that. This
is Chandler Withington. Chandler, we're going to take another quick break, and folks, we'll be right back. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. Hey, Jay Delsing here, and I know I speak for all of we golfers. We're always looking to try to improve our game. For me, that means I go to one place, and that one place is Pro-Am Golf in Brentwood. Tom DeGrand opened his family business in 1975 with a goal of providing St. Louis with the finest in golf equipment, instruction, and technology. Whether you need a new rangefinder, your first set of clubs, or anything else you can think of, Pro-Am Golf has just what you're looking for. If you're a scratch handicap or you carry a 20 handicap, come visit Pro-Am Golf and inquire about a lesson from Tom DeGrand. He's been fixing golf swings and making St. Louis better at golf for over 40 years. Go get your gear, lessons, or anything golf related where I go, and that's Pro-Am Golf in Brentwood. You can also visit them online at Pro-Am Golf USA. That's ProAmGolfUSA.com. It's Pro-Am Golf, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
Hi, this is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
A professional golfer, as you watch on TV every Sunday afternoon, never ventures onto the course without his trusted caddy. This was true for me for my entire career. I want you to think of Powers Insurance as your insurance caddy that you never had. Just as my golf caddy helped me to assess risk on the golf course, Powers Insurance can do the same for you in your busy and complicated life. Tim Davis, COO at Powers Insurance, did exactly that for me and saved me over 50% on one of my coverages. A good insurance risk advisor can help you know when to take a chance or when it may be smarter to take a little more club. Give the folks at Powers Insurance a call and get a caddy for all of your insurance needs. Call them at 314-725-1414. That's 314-725-1414. That's Powers Insurance.
You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing. Brought to you by CarShield and Doherty Business Solutions. Every Sunday morning from 8 to 10. It features top guests, tips from a PGA Tour player, and the latest news and notes from around the world of golf. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Do you remember the golden rule? I'm sure you do, but just in case, it goes like this. Treat people the way that you'd like to be treated. At People's National Bank, that one statement is the cornerstone of what this bank is all about. Locally owned, with 23 locations in Southern Illinois and the metropolitan St. Louis area, People's National Bank parlays a robust menu of commercial or personal banking services you could possibly need with a friendly yet hardworking Midwestern attitude. Maybe you just want to do business with a bank whose entire team lives in the same neighborhoods as we do. If you're like me and doing business with someone you trust is important to you, then People's National Bank is the bank for you. Jason Rantham, local president, is here for you to call, and he'll answer any questions you may have. His personal cell is 314-974-2243. You can also find us online at peoplesnationalbank.com. People's National Bank is here for all of your banking needs. This is Jay Delsing, and this Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm visiting with Chandler Withington, and he of Hazeltine Golf Club in the past and Archive 22. And so let's talk a little bit about where you're going now. You mentioned a podcast, and tell us a little bit about that and the message and where, what's the driving force behind this is.
Yeah, Jay, I think when my wife and I decided to start this company and what we're doing right now with Archive 22, we started with the artwork, and that's been a great start and a blessing for our family to have something to put food on our table. But I think I've also recognized that if all I do is sit in my basement and draw for the next 20 years, I'll have completely missed the opportunity that's been given to me. And the personal mission statement that I came up with when I got laid off from that job I alluded to earlier in the interview in 2002 was my personal mission statement, even still today, is to have a positive impact on the lives of people around me. Now, for a lot of years, that looked like being a golf professional, and that was impacting the members and their guests and my staff and everyone else that I came in interaction with. It looks different now. I'm home more now with the family, and I get to have a positive impact on the people that I love and care about the most. But Jay, when I stepped away in 2021, my resignation, it caught attention. It was a noteworthy job that I'd stepped away from, a dream job to most people, myself included. But the phone calls that I got from people, and the people that came up to me, I remember getting approached by another golf professional who came up and gave me a hug with tears in his eyes. And he said, "You did what I should have done years ago, and it cost me my family." And it was a revolving door of stories like that. I think specifically men, Jay, and not just in golf, but I think the real struggle for men is we put so much of our identity and our self-worth in what is our career and what are our accomplishments and success by the world's definition. And I see that real tug of war, and I went through it myself. So what our speaking is and what our podcast is about, Jay, is I'm trying to create a community where people can come. I think when I look at podcasts, there's 1,001 podcasts that will talk about professional golf, but I really haven't seen one that will really talk about the golf professional and the people that live and work in the game and serve it. So we want to create a community amongst those people, but it's not just limited to people who work in the golf industry. I think people like your listeners would really be intrigued to learn more about these people and who they are, how they got there, what knowledge can they hand down, but more importantly, how can they encourage people? We want to create a community of encouragement. We want to offer hope, and I want people to have the courage to just handle the challenges that come at them on a daily basis. I think I just recognize a lot of people are struggling with their life. Life is hard. I don't have to, that's not a surprise to anybody who's listening, but we just want to recognize that we want to be vulnerable, and it's going to start with me. I'll go first and share my struggles, my breakthroughs, my failures, and then how I got through it. And that's really what we want to try and create for people.
Oh my gosh, it sounds fantastic. And I mean, I love the way that you're blending your past experiences, your past jobs, and kind of shedding, I don't know, Chandler, when you're kind of the first guy down the path of doing something. It's always interesting, isn't it? Because you will move rocks and boulders and stones that you probably, with a little more experience, you would have just headed a different way instead of trying to plow through it. It's really interesting, but when you do things like this and you get the feedback from people that talk about how meaningful it was or talk about the impact when your message hit them at that specific time, it's all worth it.
It is. I got a number of notes from the event that we did in St. Louis with you, again, back in February. One of the most noteworthy, there was a gentleman talking about how he's really struggling with a lot of things that we talked about. But he said, I've watched my daughter go through grand mal seizures and be unconscious for 3 to 5 minutes at a time. And it's just like my wife having the pulmonary embolism. It's those moments that kind of shake you awake. But then he went a little further and he said, look, I kind of ended up on this like fence of normalcy where, you kind of get back to a place of comfort and you're just kind of going through the motions. And he said, look, my message kind of knocked him off that normal fence to where he really had to take a step back and look at the gratitude level of what he's been given in his life. His daughter still being healthy. And if there's anything that I can do, I want to knock people off that normal fence. And kind of feel like a lot of men are just kind of sleepwalking through life and going through the motions. And I want people to feel alive. I want them to take chances, take risk, but have the courage to do it. The last reference I'll give to Back to the Future is, everything changes when George McFly knocks out Biff. That puts everything back to where it should be. And sometimes it's just, we're so scared to make that change in our life that we know we should. So on our podcast, I just had a conversation with Tom Coyne last week, who's taken on and battled sobriety, but come through it. I don't think you ever really come through it with sobriety, but you win one day at a time. But we want to talk about the tough things in life. Golf teaches us, again, a lot about ourselves. We want to bring those lessons to the forefront. So we're recording episodes right now. People can find me on Instagram at Chandler Withington. Want to also offer your listeners today, when they listen to this show, if they want to go on our website, archive22.com, we're happy to give them 20% off their entire order. And that is ESPN20. ESPN20 is the code for your checkout. But Jay, just, as we wrap up our time here, I think what I hope people find, whether they hang the artwork in their home or their office, or they listen to the podcast, or you hear me speak in public, and if you want to have me, come speak to your group, Chandler at archive22.com is my email. I hope what people would find with us is courage, hope. Encouragement means to put courage into other people, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I hope when they look at the artwork on their walls, they're not just reminded of, that Gary Player won the U.S. Open at Belle Reve in 1965, but I hope they're reminded of all the reasons that they play the game and all the friendships that they've made through it. And just a reminder that we're all in this together. We're all here to help each other. And I think that's what makes golf so different and unique and special, compared to a lot of other sports.
Right on, Chandler. Thank you so much for the time. Thanks for that discount. And folks, you got to check this out. And I can't wait to hear the pods. When are you going to start dropping? I understand you're recording. When does the first one drop?
As soon as I can figure out how to edit and release these things. So I'm working on it. I'm learning as I go. My wife and I have this mentality. It's like, we're just going to figure it out. I've recorded them. Now I have to kind of figure out how to put intros and conclusions and sound effects and edit the sound. But again, follow along on Instagram. When you start seeing the social media posts around it, you'll know I'm getting pretty close.
Chandler, thanks so much for the time, buddy.
Jay, thank you. Thanks for what you do for golf and to further our community and bring us all together. I look forward to listening.
So you've been hearing me talk about one of our community's greatest contributors and most philanthropically inclined companies. Yes, of course, I'm talking about Marcone. They're the largest distributor of General Electric appliance parts in North America. Did you know that Marcone is also the largest and most trusted supplier of commercial and residential appliance parts, HVAC, plumbing, commercial kitchens, and pools and spas? All of that's in North America as well. That's right, Marcone does all that. Marcone is committed to supporting our first responders, all the branches of service in our military, our police and firefighters, and many more. From the viewing deck at the Ascension Charity Classic, founded in honor of our military heroes, to their commitment to Reese Across America program, Marcone is here for you and your family as well as your community. That's Marcone, the official sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
This is Paul Lazinger, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Hey, this is Jay Delsing for SSM Health Physical Therapy. Our golf program has the same screening techniques and technology as the pros on the PGA Tour use. SSM Health Physical Therapy has the Titleist Performance Institute trained physical therapists that can perform the TPI screening on you, as well as use the K-Vest 3D motion capture system. Proper posture, alignment, etc. can help you keep your game right down the middle. We have 80 locations in the St. Louis area. Call 800-518-1626 or visit them on the web at ssmphysicaltherapy.com. Your therapy, our passion.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing, rated as the #1 golf show in the Midwest. Now let's get back to Jay and Dan.
We're rolling. It's Golf with Jay Delsing on this Sunday morning on 101 ESPN. Nice visit there with Chandler Withington. Art and golf. Never thought that would really come together for an individual to make a living, but Chandler has been able to do that.
No kidding, Danny. Plus, how? I mean, have you seen me draw? Hello. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, it's just amazing. And this guy had that in him, too. So, obviously, an extremely talented guy. Loves the game. Just when I met him, I was like, what are you doing again?
Right.
You know, and I'm like, we got to get you on the show and talk about this. It's really super cool. So he does some really neat speaking engagements and stuff like that. He's got some great stories. He's got some experiences. Super fun. Really, really cool to be around.
All right, we're going to switch gears, talk about local golf. That means Fox Run getting ready to open up after what they've done with the really redesign of the course. Yep. And this is our tip of the cap.
Yeah, we're tipping our cap to the tip of the cap. Sorry, it's brought to you by the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. 314-966-0303. Colin Burnt's our guy over there. He'll treat you like family, folks. He can get you any vehicle. We're tipping our cap to Jeff Budrovich, John Patzman, and Arlen Hill, and that entire staff and team out at Fox Run Golf Club for resurrecting and creating. I said to Jeff, I don't know what to call this. Is it like Fox Run 2? Is it? And it's just super cool because it's got, they want to keep a lot of the traditions that they had oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on David Alt created that, and they're keeping some of the traditions that David started, but also just making it modernized, and it's beautiful, Danny. The sand, it's that white sand, so the bunkers just pop. It's really beautiful, and my hat's off to Jeff and the vision. He is the managing partner of the ownership group out there, so those guys are doing a great job. I can't wait to get out there and play it. You and I got to get our butts out there and play it, and we'll keep talking about it.
So what was the long hole that they used to have? It was like 500 plus yards. You remember that?
Oh yeah. They did they
keep that?
They got a couple of them. I think you're thinking about the old number 14 where they had it. Yeah. So they moved the green. So the green was really probably my least favorite green out on the old course, Danny. They moved the original green was built down by the river, and because the river would flood a lot, the green just, was awful. So they moved it too far up the hill, and it was kind of just in an awkward spot. It wasn't a very well-designed green. Now they kind of put it in the middle. They moved the tee back further. The hole's a beast. I don't know. It's at least 500 yards long, and it's right along the river, and you kind of come out of a chute off the tee. It's really beautiful. And Danny, it's going to be bring your lunch, as they say. It's going to be all you want.
That's Jay Delsing. I'm Dan McLaughlin. It's Golf with Jay Delsing, coming to you from the Car Shield Studios, presented by Doherty Business Solutions. So when we come back, let's take you to Fox Run. Jay will be there. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Darty Business Solutions has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year right out of high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year right after high school graduation. That's when they begin their training. CEO Ron Darty believes the talent is equally distributed, but access to that opportunity is not. So here's Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. It's Darty Business Solutions.
Get ready to watch the legends of golf up close when they compete at historic Norwood Hills Country Club right here in St. Louis. The Ascension Charity Classic will be back again with some of golf's biggest names: Steve Stricker, Padraig Harrington, John Daly, David Duval, Bernard Langer, Ernie Els, and more will return September 3rd through the 8th at Norwood Hills. All tournament proceeds go to area charities serving North St. Louis County youth and families. Sponsorship opportunities, Pro-Am foursomes, and more information available for you at AscensionCharityClassic.com.
I'm delighted to welcome the Amateur Players Tour to the Golf with Jay Delsing show. The APT team has worked so hard to establish a national golf tour for amateurs. Folks, don't miss out on this opportunity. If you love golf and ever wondered what all the fuss about tournament golf is, then this tour is for you. We just released the 2024 schedule, and it is a beast. There's 21 events currently in the metropolitan St. Louis area, with many more to come. But check out these golf courses: Paynes Valley, Ozark National, Stonewolf, Ambrier, Persimmon Woods, Gateway National, and a 36-hole event on Norwood's West Course, and many more. Okay, so the courses are certainly cool and nice, but what's really neat is the way the events are run and how they are run. The APT team does a fantastic job of closely monitoring handicaps and ensuring a good and fair competition. There are 5 divisions, a year-long points competition, major championships, elevated events, and much, much more. Right now, there are over 6,000 members in 41 different local chapters across the country, and all that's happened in just over 5 years. Join now and don't miss out on the best tournament golf in the country, run for amateurs by amateurs themselves. Go to AmateurPlayersTour.com. That's AmateurPlayersTour.com.
Hello, friends. This is Jim Nance, and you are listening to Golf with my friend Jay Delsing.
Are you driving an out-of-warranty car? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing you thousands of dollars. Auto repair costs are up nearly 20% from last year, which is 4 times the rate of inflation. If an unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready for that? Well, now you can be with a plan through CarShield. Even if your car is just over 3 years old, it's still prone to expensive costs. Your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. Traveling by car is a way of life. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are a daily essential. When you enroll in a car protection plan through CarShield, you can look forward to the following: the price will never go up no matter how many claims you file, or no matter how high the mileage on your car increases. CarShield offers protection plans that start as low as $100 per month. That's $100 per month. They have repair coverage for up to 5,000 different parts of your vehicle. Plus, when your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, you get 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance. You also get complimentary towing and rental car options. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down, and they can have yours too. Call CarShield today at 800-465 888-866-6550 or visit carshield.com. It's CarShield, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show. Good morning. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm your host, Jay. I'm sitting down this morning with the managing partner of the ownership group out at Fox Run, Jeff Budrovich. Jeff, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks so much. I've been listening to your show for the last couple of years and really enjoy it. Usually on the way out to Fox Run on Sunday morning.
Thank you. Well, you know what? So we're sitting out here. Let's just talk a little bit about this labor of love that you took on. We met years and years ago. We both had the pleasure of enjoying Fox, and I'm going to say in its old heyday, so to speak, in the I guess late 90s-ish, when the golf course was pretty new and it was really in good shape and a really, really good golf course.
Yeah. So Fox Run was created in 1993. And I actually became a member in '96. Got the opportunity to come out here. I bought a threesome at an auction, charity auction, and at the time I was playing public courses and calling a weekend in advance for tee times and playing wherever we could. And I came out here on a Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, and there was about 6 cars in the parking lot. And then I got the tour of the golf course, and I couldn't believe that I'm one of maybe 10 people on the golf course that morning on a 70-degree perfect day, a Sunday no less. And then, I got to as I left the clubhouse, Alan Clark was the pro at the time and took care of me, treated me like I belonged here. And then I got to the Fox Den with Bill Harrell. I know you guys have talked about him a little bit. Bill made me feel like a king, and I just knew at that time this is a place where I wanted to be. And I've said this for years and years because we do some construction, we move some dirt, and I always thought about maybe building a golf course. And people have always asked me, why don't you buy a course, or why don't you build a course? And there is no other course, and I've said this to several people. There's no other course in the world that I would buy other than Fox Run.
Yeah,
I mean that.
Absolutely. And I mean, sitting next to you, that's so evident that the love that you have for here. So let's talk a little bit about your vision. So obviously you're a good golfer and you love this place. Let's do a little recap first, because I know really, really soon the first 9 is going to be available for the members.
Yeah, we're gonna open up the golf course for members only, and I'm probably not supposed to say this, and John Patsman's going to kick me, but we're going to open it up for members only next week, just for a couple of days, just to let the membership experience it before our member guest. Member guest is I think it's June 21st, 22nd. We'll have all 18 holes open for that event. The day after the memory guest is over, we're going to follow around the last group with the bulldozer, and
off she goes.
And then we're going to get to work as soon as we can on the back 9.
Jeff, we toured we toured the entire property, and what's coming is just absolutely spectacular from a golf standpoint. But tell the listeners, what's the driving force here? I know you love the game, and you've been a guy that's moved dirt your whole life in your business career. You kind of mix this thing together for this new love that you have of putting Fox Run back into prominence.
Well, again, Jay, first off, I don't ever want to get away from the history of Fox Run and what David Alt started here. I think he created. He had a vision and created a spectacular golf course, and I want to continue that tradition. I want to make it great again. When I joined here in '96, it was it was plush. It was perfect. Over time, things didn't go the same.
Life happens to a lot of things, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't the place. It had become not the place that I had joined. So my passion lies in getting that back, getting that experience back, and being able to show it off. I think you can tell. I'm pretty proud of this place. I'm very passionate about it, and I wouldn't be this way about any other golf course.
Yeah. Well, it shows. I mean, we've had Arlen on, and I got to tell you, Arlen is the backbone of this operation. There's something about him when you're talking golf. He's got this. He's kind of got this hard-nosed, soft underbelly to him, where he is so into this at a different level, though. I mean, Jeff, we're out there looking at the golf course, and he's pulling a weed out of the crack in the brand new concrete that was poured on the cart path and some of the other things. I mean, when it comes to attention to detail, you guys are on it at a big way.
Oh, that you had just hit the nail on the head. I mean, the attention to detail is something we haven't had here in a long time, and I'm the same way. You know, we go out and he'll see a weed out in the middle of, you know, you have what, an acre of fairway, and there's a weed or two. He'll go pull it out, and he doesn't walk past that stuff. You know, the lines, the edges, the new bunkers, you know, he doesn't miss a trick, and he's Arlen's a superstar, and I'd hate to think where we'd be without him.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what's interesting? When we walked off onto the first hole and looking down there, I was like, wow. I mean, the amount of change is remarkable. I mean, it is the same hole piece of property wise, but it doesn't resemble itself very much. But the first thing I noticed, Jeff, and then that theme carried itself through the entire course, is just the teeing grounds. The way that you guys have shaped the teeing ground, it just adds to everything. It looks, when you look down this hole, you're like, these guys didn't miss one thing. You know what I mean? Sometimes you go to these courses, Jeff, and you'll get one tee and it's pointing out into left field, and the other one's over here. The attention to all the detail, especially, you know, when you get on the tees and the greens, it's spectacular.
Yeah, it's hard to believe this place was all dirt just eight or 9 months ago. So, yeah, and so we've redone everything. So we had the opportunity. What we were blessed with was great bones. So we started out with a really good product, and we feel like we just improved it. So new tee boxes, new fairways, new greens, new bunkers, new irrigation system, new cart pass. It's basically a new old course. I'm
the same way with you. I'm trying to struggle to call it. It's like this rebirth, because you're right. The bones are here, but what you're adding to it, it's like, well, the old course was really good, but this looks so much better, especially this, as we look out down the first hole and up the ninth. This is, for me, is almost the crown right here. It's looking at the what you've done to the left side of the first, the left side of the ninth, as we coming up with the green and the water complex, and it's pretty spectacular. It looks like a postcard.
Yeah, I'm looking at it out here with you, and so we've just to get into some of the numbers, I guess. We went from 27 acres of fairway to 44 acres. So we've widened it. We've made it more playable. Taken out some trees. So I think it's going to be more playable for the average golfer, and I think it's also going to be a great test for the really good golfer. So I think my biggest word through all this was flexibility. So we could stretch her out. We could stretch her out to 75 or maybe even 7,600 yards when it's all said and done. But also we with the size of the tee boxes, we can move them up and what we always just say, play the right tee box, right? So
check your ego, leave it in the car, and play the right tee box for sure.
Exactly. You don't need to see all this golf course. We have 300 acres out here. You don't need to see it all. Just find the right tee box and enjoy yourself.
I'm visiting with Jeff Budrovich. He is the managing partner for the ownership group out at Fox Run. So, Jeff, let's talk a little bit about timing-wise. So, when can we expect all of the 18 holes to be ready to go and ready to play?
Yeah. So again, the day after member guest, we're gonna tear up the back nine. Our goal is to have seed in the ground by September 15th. With September 30th at the latest. Assuming we hit that date, which we fully intend to, we should be open by May 1st ish of next year.
I don't personally know much about timing and how long things take to grow, but when walking down the first fairway and walking in the fairways of the first nine, they've been 8 months or so they've been growing in, and I mean it's absolutely immaculate. The majority of the surfaces are fantastic to play on. You also have more modern grasses. You've kept the bent grass feel, but you have a modern version of the bent that's much hardier and not so susceptible to the crazy care that some of it needs.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not a grass expert. Don't pretend to be. Don't play one on TV. But the Penlinks version of bent grass that we had from 30 years ago was susceptible to heat, disease. It had to be kept wet. The new 007, they call it super grass. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but this 007 bent grass it was formulated in Florida like 10 years ago maybe, and is doing very well in the heat in Florida. So heat, humidity, which is what we deal with here in July and August. We're expecting big things out of it.
Oh, you absolutely should. And Jeff, let's talk a little bit about the team that you have together. So we had Arlen on the show earlier. We had John. Talk about how you put together a team, because you and the ownership group, it's a real hands-on group.
Well, yeah. Well, so the word that gets used around here a lot is passion. And I've said this for years. I may not be very good at what I do for a living, but what I am good at is I hire good people. And the team that we've got here cares about the golf course. They care. The number one word that gets used around here is membership experience, and they care about that. They care about the member. They care about the member. Not only when they get here, the experience they have here, but as they're driving off, that they want to come back. They want to be a part of this, and these guys have egos too, right? So I've in the short time we've had this. So it was a year ago. We bought the place a year ago. The number of, whether it be texts or emails or phone calls that I've gotten, our current members have used the word uncomfortable with the level of service that they've gotten, that they weren't necessarily used to before. John and Arlen and the guys getting to hear that means a lot to it gives them the feedback that they need.
Well, I think in what you were saying is you could tell they take pride in this challenge that's in front of them. You're going to have, eventually we're going to have 200 members here, and it's going to be like, I have 200 bosses, and I'm going to take care of these guys and make sure that their day, they may have a bad day because the game of golf may not be good, but not because we didn't do our job.
Well, yeah, that's right. And with the three different owners that are here, along with my two partners, Ron Comlos and Charles Reneski, we all have different visions, or I shouldn't say different visions. We have different things that are important to us, right? So I'm an avid golfer. I've been taking a big role in the renovation and the redo when it comes time to do the clubhouse and and the other cool stuff that's going to happen here. Charles and Ron will be more involved in that part of it.
That's great. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm visiting with Jeff Budrovich. We will be back in a minute with more on Golf with Jay Delsing.
This is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center located in Kirkwood. Our motto is play your best golf. We have the best instruction for every skill level. 2 female instructors along with our 8 PGA instructors. We're there for the kids and the adults who are starting to play and trying to refine their game. Family Golf and Learning Center features a double-decker driving range, grass tees, and a short game area, along with indoor simulators and a performance center. That's not all. Don't forget about our back 9 bar and grill. Find out how we can help you and your family. Head to familygolfonline.com. That's familygolfonline.com. It's Family Golf and Learning Center, where we make St. Louis better at golf.
If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, any make or model, then you need to visit the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. They are the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show. My daughter and I both drive vehicles supplied by Colin and the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, and it's because we know we can trust them. They made the car buying experience painless and easy, and their customer service is second to none. Every single step of the car buying experience was taken care of for us. You can reach Colin at 314-966-0303, and he will answer all of your questions and put your mind at ease. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood has new or pre-owned vehicles to be purchased or leased, whichever you prefer. Once you visit the Dean Team Volkswagen on Manchester in Kirkwood, you'll be a customer for life because they will treat you like family. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
For the best in Italian cuisine in St. Louis, look no further than Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield. It's traditional Italian cooking, and their best ingredient, it's their tradition. It's cooking like Paul's grandmother used to make and like his mother still prepares today. There are no corners cut at Paul Manno's. From greeting you at the door to the pasta you'll share with your family, Paul Manno's is committed to bringing you their very best anytime you share a meal at their place. It's Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield.
Do you remember the golden rule? I'm sure you do, but just in case, it goes like this. Treat people the way that you'd like to be treated. At People's National Bank, that one statement is the cornerstone of what this bank is all about. Locally owned, with 23 locations in Southern Illinois and the metropolitan St. Louis area, People's National Bank parlays a robust menu of commercial or personal banking services you could possibly need with a friendly yet hardworking Midwestern attitude. Maybe you just want to do business with a bank whose entire team lives in the same neighborhoods as we do. If you're like me and doing business with someone you trust is important to you, then People's National Bank is the bank for you. Jason Rantham, local president, is here for you to call, and he'll answer any questions you may have. His personal cell is 314-974-2243. You can also find us online at peoplesnationalbank.com. People's National Bank is here for all of your banking needs. Welcome back. It's Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm your host, Jay, and I've got Jeff Budrovich. He is the managing partner, the ownership group here at Fox Run, and we are talking about this new vision and this new golf course that is, again, Jeff, I struggle for what to call it, but it's Fox Run. It's in the same location, but it just looks fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about the membership, because this is a place that you're building because you want to share it, you want people to experience it, and you care an awful lot about that experience that they have.
Oh, of course. Every club, is defined by its membership, and we've talked about, we being me and John and Ron and Charles, we've talked about club rules, and we've talked about who it is that we want to be, because do we want to wear our hats backwards, or do we want to allow jeans in the clubhouse, or cell phones? And what we've come to agree on, I guess, is we're going to wait and let the membership decide that kind of stuff. Yeah, and there's we'll never get away from golf etiquette and the right thing to do, but until we establish our identity and who we want to be and what our membership actually looks like, I don't know if we're prepared to make some of those calls yet.
I think that's wise though, Jeff, because look at the way we live nowadays. I mean, you can buy a $20 pair of Dockers and go into Pine Valley, but you have a $500 pair of jeans and you can't. Something's wrong with that, and I love that idea. There also, music on the golf course. There's a lot of courses that are limiting, letting people listen to the Beatles while they want to play golf, and it's just sometimes our golf traditions almost get in the way of our progress in letting people enjoy themselves. I mean, because after all, this is entertainment.
100%. We're out here for one reason. We're out here to enjoy ourselves. So, and enjoying yourself means different things to different people, and you can't be everything to everybody. But I'm a traditionalist more than anything. So I do believe in most of the golf etiquette or the traditions established, but also realizing that it is a new age and things are different, and time has passed us by a little bit, and we need to understand what it is that is important to the membership, and allowing music, as long as it doesn't affect everybody else or anybody else that doesn't want to listen to it. I think you have to be respectful of that.
Yeah, you can't put it on a 10. You get it just so you.
I'm not sure about listening to the Beatles either.
Yeah, so, right. Well, I don't know. I don't know where I picked that up, but I dated the hell out of myself there, didn't I? But I think that's the challenge, isn't it? Because a lot of the golf traditions need to stay. I mean, it's the game, but blending that in today's world so that you can appeal to a little broader aspect of our community is the challenge.
Well, I mean, like you said, that's what the game's about. That's what makes us different from other sports. There's a certain code of conduct, and there's certain expectations that come along with being on a golf course, and we don't have rowdy fans. I guess except for
Phoenix,
at Scottsdale, but no, for the most part, it's a gentleman and we want to keep that. We want to stay true to our values at all times, but realizing that we can't let time pass us by either. No,
that's a blend, and you guys will figure that out. So let's talk about the target is going to be 200 members. One of the things, Jeff, that I think it's really super cool that you guys do that not a lot of other people do is you don't have tee times. And so what some people might get, like I've had people say, what do you mean your club doesn't have tee times? Because Norwood Hills doesn't have it as well. And I'm like, listen, it makes you engage in your club. You know what it's going to look like. If you show up on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, you're probably not going to be able to walk right out to the first tee. But if you understand your club, you know that you can come at 10:15 and you can walk out. It just is for me, it's an additional level of investment for the membership where they're just more involved and they understand what's going on.
Yeah, so when we bought the club, we had 189 members at the time when we bought the club, and we brought most of them were able to attend a meeting. And I got up in front of everybody and I said, "There's two absolutes, and these are two promises that I made to the existing membership. We will remain bent grass forever for as long as I'm here, and we will never have tee times." And I got a standing ovation actually for the no tee time. So that's obviously important to people. And I know, there's a lot of times where I'm in a text group with 12 or 14 guys, and somebody will send out a text, "Hey, 1 o'clock today," and I get stuck in a meeting and don't get out of that meeting until 12:15, 12:30, and I show up 15 minutes late. Well, guess what? Nobody cares.
Right.
You
hit a couple extra putts. Let's just wait.
Yeah. There's no rush, and I think that's one of the really cool places or cool things about being here.
So Jeff, when you think about the membership. So you said you started off with 189 members, and then you had a meeting when you guys took ownership.
Yeah, so we had a meeting. We were at 189, and that was the middle of May last year. By the end of June, we were down to 50 members. So we changed the pricing structures. We went from an 18-hole golf course to a 9-hole golf course, and we're going to be that way for 2 years, basically. Totally understand, totally get it. Some people didn't want to be a member at a 9-hole golf course,
Yep.
and I'll argue that because our 9 holes are really, really freaking good. And I do it. My golf for the last year has been the 9 holes. The difference being it's this, same 9 holes I played for the last 30 years. I'm really looking forward to this year and beginning to play the new 9 holes that I haven't got a chance to get on yet, and understanding how they play and how far my ball goes or where it lands and where the putts break. And I'm looking forward to this summer, even with it being 9 holes. I get to play them twice.
With every single green being redone, there's no local knowledge anymore, man. Everybody's going to be starting from scratch. This is Golf with Jay Delsing, and I'm visiting with Jeff Budrovich. He is the managing partner and of the ownership group at Fox Run. So Jeff, what is how do people get in touch with you? How do we find out about? They've got to get their eyes on here. They've got to get out of here on property, and they got to check this out.
Yeah, that's what I told you, Jay, when we're driving around and showing you the golf course. Man, if I can get people out here, the golf course is going to sell itself. It really is good. The best way is just to call out, talk to John Patzman, the GM. He's got all the information. I think we have a brand new website. I'm pretty sure it's up. I'm like you, Jay. I'm not much of a tech guy, but if it's up, it's only been up for a couple weeks. So obviously they get through that way.
Yeah. So folks, foxrungolfclub.com is where you go. Get on the website, check it out. They've got some great pictures. Jeff, we just pulled that up. There's some beautiful pictures of some of the redos, some renderings. And but I really think it's important, again, for people to come out here, see this for themselves, what you guys have built out here. I don't think they'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to, now that the new 9's about to open. I think I've got 9 personal tours scheduled for either this week or early next week. So people are starting to get the word. St. Louis is a small town, and I think word's going to travel pretty quick once we get a chance to actually put a peg in the ground and play these holes.
Yeah, we're the show me state, man. We're saying, come out here, we'll show you. It's absolutely beautiful. You know what I love, Jeff, from talking to Arlen, is that his standards are so high for the golf course that on a Tuesday afternoon where you bring your wife and your kids out and you guys go play 18 holes and have dinner out here, to 3 weeks later and you wanted to have 5 groups of tour players that play out here, the shape of the golf course is going to be like that all the time. You can tell that he cares deeply about that and that he's going to take care of it like that.
Well, and that's what we wanted. I mean, it's a certain expectation level. If you're a member of Fox Run, you're going to be treated from the time you walk into the door till you get in the locker room, till you have lunch, cocktails afterwards. But obviously, the golf course is what we have to sell. The golf course is our crown jewel, and we have the right person in place to take care of that. And nobody will ever doubt Arlen's passion, for sure. So
the number to reach the team out at Fox Run Golf Club is 636-938-4653. That's 636-938-4653. Jeff, as we wrap this up, you're going to be able to look back at this experience with a lot of probably a few more gray hairs, but I can tell that you have this pride about keeping this this thing alive and actually making it even better. People have to come out here and experience it for themselves.
Yeah, for sure. My fear when I got into this in the first place was this was my play yard for from '96 until last year, and it seems like a lot of times I come out here, I'm working, and you're right. It's a labor of love, but it's still labor, right? And so it for me, it's kind of lost the playground atmosphere. So I'm looking to get that back. Hopefully, when the construction's done, and I'll be able to enjoy it more, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on this. I look forward to getting to play it with you. And folks, you got to get out to see Fox run for yourself.
Thank you so much, Jay. I appreciate you having me.
Hey, Jay Delsing here, and I know I speak for all of we golfers. We're always looking to try to improve our game. For me, that means I go to one place, and that one place is Pro-Am Golf in Brentwood. Tom DeGrand opened his family business in 1975 with a goal of providing St. Louis with the finest in golf equipment, instruction, and technology. Whether you need a new rangefinder, your first set of clubs, or anything else you can think of, Pro-Am Golf has just what you're looking for. If you're a scratch handicap or you carry a 20 handicap, come visit Pro-Am Golf and inquire about a lesson from Tom DeGrand. He's been fixing golf swings and making St. Louis better at golf for over 40 years. Go get your gear, lessons, or anything golf-related where I go, and that's Pro-Am Golf in Brentwood. You can also visit them online at Pro-Am Golf USA. That's ProAmGolfUSA.com. It's Pro-Am Golf, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
This is Jim Hackenberg, founder of Orange Whip and Orange Whip Training. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
I am proud to welcome the Gateway section of the PGA back to my show. Whether you're pulling into your favorite driving range, public golf course, or country club, there is an excellent chance that the staff there is part of the over 300 men and women PGA professionals at over 100 facilities that make up our Gateway section. I grew up watching so many of these fine men and women getting to the golf course at dawn, leaving at dusk, spending their entire day running events, giving lessons, and growing this great game. PGA Reach, Drive, Chip, and Putt, PGA Hope, and the fantastic PGA Junior League are a few of the examples of the programs run by these same PGA professionals. Go to gatewaypga.org to learn more, or to find your next PGA professional for your next lesson, go to pga.com. The Gateway PGA, growing the game we love.
Family Golf and Learning Center. No matter your age or skill level, Family Golf and Learning Center, located in Kirkwood, has something for you. They've got it all. PGA and LPGA instruction, double-decker driving range, par 3 golf course, TrackMan simulators, a large short game green designed to help you with all your shots around the green, bunkers, rough, and Zoysia fairway pitching. And now open, the Tahoma Bermuda Grass Tees, the best turf to hit from in St. Louis. It's all at Family Golf and Learning Center. To schedule a lesson or to find out more, visit FamilyGolfOnline.com. That's FamilyGolfOnline.com. Family Golf and Learning Center. We make St. Louis better at golf.
Recently, my nephew called me and said his basement had flooded and all the hardwood, carpet, and flooring had to be replaced. I told him I have the perfect place for you to go. At Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture, this second-generation family-owned business treats everyone just like their family. Jared Capps is continuing his mom and dad's 50-year business tradition where honesty, transparency, and service carry the day. My nephew loved the luxury vinyl product. Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture has the largest selection in the area. Whether you prefer Mohawk and the wide variety of their product lines, I love the Rev Wood product, by the way, or Karastan or Pergo Elements line, Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture will literally have you covered. You have pets? Let Jared tell you about the many sustainable flooring and carpet options that are pet-friendly but also easily maintained to keep your floors looking great every day. And don't forget about their huge selection of Lazy Boy recliners. They are awesome and one of the biggest selections in the Midwest. Call them today at 618-936-0536 and get your free estimate or set up a consultation with one of their experts. You can also go to jerseyvillecarpetandfurniture.net. Proud sponsor of Golf with Jay Delsing. Good morning. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm your host, Jay. I'm sitting down this morning with the general manager of the Fox Run Golf Club. His name is John Passman. John, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you so much for having me, Jay.
We're doing a Fox Run-centric show here today, and it's what you guys are doing out at Fox. I'm not sure the proper way to describe it, John. Rebirth. There's definitely a rejuvenation of the golf course, but I feel like everything is changing at Fox Run for the better. And it's all getting fresher, newer. And newer, I should say, doesn't necessarily mean like we're trying to recreate the wheel. We're going back to service-oriented things. Just tell us a little bit about how you got involved. I know you've been a lifer like myself in the golf business, but now you're working out here.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting. So I joined Fox Run probably in 95 or 96, and not that that's really relevant, but what was interesting is I was the Callaway Golf sales rep in this area. And at that particular time, my wife and I moved here. I was looking for a place to join, and being the Callaway sales rep, I had a lot of exposure to a lot of different clubs because I called on them on a regular basis. And when I came out here, I had the opportunity to take a tour with Alan Clark, and I fell in love with what this place was all about. It was golf club, golf centric, and that was really important to me. So I joined here back in 95. Little did I know, 30 years later, still a member, I would be here as the general manager. So my perspective here is very unique because I was part of, at least a member with David's vision of what he wanted this to look like. And now I'm here kind of carrying on that vision with the new ownership that is very, very much in love with what David started and want just to continue it.
You know, it's sometimes the best thing we can do in life, John, is to not change something, just to go back to. I mean, you think about this crazy society we have now where our values, we've lowered the bar so low you can walk over our standard bar. You know, it's just crazy like that. But I know that you guys are talking about member experience. I know you're talking about really getting to know the kind of a hands-on sort of feeling with each and every member.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things when I was approached by the ownership group and asked about this, I said member-centric and ultimately membership experience is what we're searching for. And that doesn't mean other clubs aren't doing it, but I think we have a unique opportunity because we're going to be limited to just 200 members. And when you only have 200 members, they're again, really critical to the success. And in order for us to be successful, we have to make them feel special. And it's not something we are actively trying to portray. It's who we are. Our team is built about over membership experience. From the time someone drives into our driveway, we know who that member is by the car they drive. And by the time they park their car, there's a golf cart waiting for them to pick them up, get them to the locker room. During that time, we're doing all the little things that particular member may want. So by the time they get to the golf cart, guess what? It's been a seamless transition, and they're ready to go play golf.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that is something when you take on that level of service, that's a beast. I mean, it is. And what I think will happen is it'll stand out so much in a world where, you know, hell, you go in and get a cup of coffee and somebody wants to be tipped. You're like, what did you do? You know, you guys are looking to go the extra mile to provide service to the most important people in your business.
Yeah, I don't think we wouldn't exist if it weren't for the service aspect. Yes, we got to have a wonderful premier golf facility, which we have. Absolutely. That checks that box. But then on the other side, we got to provide the same experience from a membership's perspective. And again, I am a member, right? So I kind of knew what that looked like, or what I thought I wanted it to look like. So I've been given the latitude to create that. And our team is focused on that. And we will not depart under any circumstances from what our mission is membership experience.
So, John, let's talk about the facilities a little bit. The golf course is going to speak for itself. When Jeff and the team are finished with an Arlen, with the growing, the whole, it's going to be spectacular. Let's talk about some of the other things some of the other amenities the members are going to get. We're sitting in this beautiful clubhouse right now. It's safe to say it's unlike any other in the area.
Yeah, I believe so, and that's why I'm here, right? One of the crazy parts about this industry is I have been fortunate enough to have it as my career, kind of like you, right? We've been in the golf industry, and we've been very fortunate that we've made a living in the golf industry. And I feel that as an unbelievable privilege. And if I can somehow, our team, convey that to the members when they're here, that they have that unbelievable experience. And what does that look like, right? So little things, right? You walk into our locker room. It doesn't matter if it's the men's locker room or ladies' locker room. We only have full-size lockers. Every member gets a locker. It's part of being a member here. No one's paying extra to get a particular locker. We've got full-time, staff from shoe shine to ultimately food and beverage to way probably too many cart people, but in the end, when we're trying to create this membership experience, we are way over investing in the staff relative to the number of members we have. And you know what? That's part of our DNA, and we're not going to change from that, because that is one of the key points of differentiation from what we have to maybe what others have.
100%. And unfortunately, you can't control how well your members play. This game is going to own them like it owns the rest of us. But what you can control is what you will control. And that is how they're treated. The food here is spectacular. We just finished lunch. It's just wonderful. And you will be able to control that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we have to control. I mean, we talk about it every single day, and ultimately control what you can control. The rest of it we can't, right? If it's going to storm, it's going to storm. But if someone comes out here on a day when it's raining, we want to make sure that we've done everything on our end to make that day as enjoyable as possible. Nope, we can't fix their score. And God bless that people still join golf clubs, even though they don't necessarily play good golf. We love the fact that they do, because they're just like you and I, where they have such passion for this game.
Right. Playing good golf, thank God, is not a prerequisite to joining a club or playing, because as we age, our games are just going to hell. But what I think is interesting, John, to talk about when you're talking about providing service, when you set a standard, there's that standard has to start at the top. So it's going to start with you, and it's going to start with the way that you treat the staff and the way that they are going to respond to their membership. It's like a culture. And that's what when I'm sitting next to you, that's what I feel, that passion that you have. And passion's kind of an overriding theme out here at Fox Run, because this is about trying to create a really great experience for whoever walks in the door.
Yeah, no doubt. I think we have been fortunate with the ownership group that they see the vision of membership experience being paramount. And when you have them willing to support you, it's easy to ultimately build a team. And our entire team is built around that. I mean, you know what? In the end, someone may do their job really well at serving food, but if they're not serving that food with passion, taking care of the member, then they're not accomplishing what we want. And again, I say it's ultimately, we want the members leaving here saying, gosh darn it, I can't wait till I get back there.
Right. I wish I could go play 9 more holes or something. As we wrap this up, John, talk a little bit about the facilities, the clubhouse. I know you've got a beautiful, is it a banquet hall that you consider on the other side of the property? It looks like you could host weddings here. You could just host just about anything.
Yeah, we have a lot of buildings here, and the building we're sitting in is our main clubhouse. We're in the dining room. We have a grill area in the clubhouse, in the locker rooms, golf shop, etc. Next to us is what we call the Carriage House. The Carriage House can host all different types of events, upwards of 150 to 200 people, including weddings. So we've got a big property on the golf course. We've got what we call the Den, which is this really unique little building out in the middle of the golf course where we've got Bill Harrell, who serves the most awesome barbecue.
Oh, man, he's good.
And talk about membership experience. People don't remember my name, but they remember Bill's name, and that makes me happy.
He's always got bacon cooking out there. I remember when I was playing with Jeff, I'm like, I just remember the smell of bacon, 2 holes away.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that happens is you're playing the 6th hole and all of a sudden you're getting a whiff of bacon or barbecue or something. And then by the time you're done with the 7th hole, you are hungry. Even if you're not hungry, you're going to eat something.
No question.
So, Jay, one question
please.
for you. So what did you think of Fox Run today?
Well, I was blown away. I didn't know so I'd seen the video, but the video doesn't do it. It's great if you can't come out to check the video out on YouTube. It really is. But it doesn't do it justice because I had certain images in my head where I'm like, I wish this didn't go this way. The whole, and I'm talking about the design and it starts on the very first hole, which is the old number 10. So the old back nine is going to now be the front nine. And the 10th hole is spectacular. The way that you guys have cleaned out the left, have brought that. There's still some trees over there, but it's an extremely clean look. There was always a creek over there. I hit it over there several times before and found out the hard way. But you can see this now. It's a much better, much more inviting tee shot where you're able to see everything, right? So there's no blindness in that shot, and there's also. There's a greenside bunker that is a fantastic aiming point for what would be for me and almost like a point of definition, for lack of a better word, John. When I go to a hole, that's when my eye is looking for something like what did the architect have in mind? What is the plan? And a lot of the architects, especially the Dye family, they try to trick you like that, which is really crazy because the game's hard enough as it is. Just roll the hole out there and I'll screw it up somehow, right? But I loved the, I'm going to say massive improvements. I'm thinking that what I saw today is going to be better than the original back in the 90s when I played here. And that was really good, but it was a long time ago. I'm an old guy. I don't know where I parked my car out in the parking lot, so I vaguely remember what it looked like, but I'm excited. And I think what's most exciting and what most golfers can hang their hats on is that there's a plan out here that's going to be executed. We're going to get to talk to Jeff, who's kind of the head behind the whole thing, but there's a plan, and I'm excited to see this play out because every single person here is like-minded with me. They're passionate about golf. They're passionate about what they do, and you all want to do this at a high level, and I love that.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Thanks for being with me today,
Thank you so
John.
much.
Are you tired of watching your golf scores go up every year? Despite new equipment and even a couple lessons, you still fight that slice or your inability to get that ball up and down out of the bunker? Well, get ready to experience better golf with Elevate Golf. At Elevate Golf, we're changing the way golfers practice with our innovative and data-driven approach to learning and, most importantly, improving. We have an array of membership options where you can find the perfect fit for your golf, your lifestyle, and your budget. Whether you start in our full-service gym, the short game area that has real sand bunker, or one of our 7 TrackMan simulator bays, the team at Elevate Golf will do a complete assessment of you and your game, which is crucial because if you don't know where you're starting from, it's nearly impossible to attain a goal or a new level. Call us today at 636-265-0557 or visit us at elevategolf.com. That's ELV8golf.com. Contact us today and get ready to play better golf.
This is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center located in Kirkwood. Our motto is play your best golf. We have the best instruction for every skill level. 2 female instructors along with our 8 PGA instructors. We're there for the kids and the adults who are starting to play and trying to refine their game. Family Golf and Learning Center features a double-decker driving range, grass tees, and a short game area, along with indoor simulators and a performance center. That's not all. Don't forget about our Back Nine Bar and Grill. Find out how we can help you and your family. Head to familygolfonline.com. That's familygolfonline.com. It's Family Golf and Learning Center, where we make St. Louis better at golf.
Do you remember the golden rule? I'm sure you do, but just in case, it goes like this. Treat people the way that you'd like to be treated. At People's National Bank, that one statement is the cornerstone of what this bank is all about. Locally owned, with 23 locations in Southern Illinois and the metropolitan St. Louis area, People's National Bank parlays a robust menu of commercial or personal banking services you could possibly need with a friendly yet hardworking Midwestern attitude. Maybe you just want to do business with a bank whose entire team lives in the same neighborhoods as we do. If you're like me and doing business with someone you trust is important to you, then People's National Bank is the bank for you. Jason Rantham, local president, is here for you to call, and he'll answer any questions you may have. His personal cell is 314-974-2243. You can also find us online at peoplesnationalbank.com. People's National Bank is here for all of your banking needs.
You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing. Brought to you by CarShield and Doherty Business Solutions. Every Sunday morning from 8 to 10. It features top guests, tips from a PGA Tour player, and the latest news and notes from around the world of golf. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Get ready to watch the legends of golf up close when they compete at historic Norwood Hills Country Club right here in St. Louis. The Ascension Charity Classic will be back again with some of golf's greatest names. Steve Stricker, Padraig Harrington, John Daly, David Duval, Bernard Longer, Justin Leonard, David Toms, and more will compete returning September 3rd through the 8th. Visit AscensionCharityClassic.com for information. Heading down the stretch on Golf with Jay Delsing, just a few minutes left. Great stuff from Fox Run. Really enjoyed that.
Oh, thank you. You know, Danny, it's so, I love being around people that are passionate. And I mean, when you think about the passion that those three men have, and then you think about the excellence that they're trying to attain, your hat's off to them. I mean, and listen, I don't have any reason to think they're not going to smoke this thing. I mean, these guys have a vision, and they've got a plan, and I love when people put a plan together and then execute it.
So that's out at Fox Run. Couple of major golf news and notes that I want to hit with as we wrap this up, but one is just tragic. Grayson Murray took his own life, and it just shocked the PGA Tour. Yeah, just, you know what, Danny, it's times like this when new players on the tour find out what a family we really are. When the late, great Payne Stewart passed away, we had just finished the end of the year down in Orlando. We all were, we're shaking hands and saying, we'll see you soon, whatever. And then we all got together like 4 days later for Payne's funeral back in Orlando because he died that afternoon. And it was unbelievable how many people showed up. It was amazing, and I know the Murray family is feeling it, and my heart breaks for them. I can't imagine losing a child, especially the way it happened. But the outpouring of love and concern and condolences from the players, I know it's staggering for them. And maybe staggering news concerning the LPGA Tour. Yeah. Lexi Thompson says, I'm going to call it quits.
Yeah. Danny, she struggled with her part in the game for years. When we were doing the Fox broadcasting, Brad Faxon and I walked 18 holes with her a couple different times. And she is fun to watch, man. Not necessarily with the putter in her hand, but with everything else, man. She is fun and a great girl. You could tell that girl grew up around brothers. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
She's been punched and punched back and the whole thing. And you watch her play, and I think there was just this growing amount of discomfort with her that you could see. And I think when, you know what it's like, Dee, because you've won Emmy Awards and things like that, when you lose that passion and you're used to being at that super high level, it's tough, man, to watch yourself go.
Let me interrupt you, though. Was it shocking to you?
Yes, Danny, it was. It really was. Just because she's so young. But one of the other things you got to remember, Dee, she turned pro as a baby. I mean, I think she was 16 years old or 17 years old and turned pro and started playing. So, I mean, you back that out of there, and she's had a longer career than someone who, for example, would have gone to a university and didn't turn pro till they were 22. That's a big deal. And that traveling, it just beats you up. And we don't really know maybe she's dealing with some injuries as well.
Sure.
We know she's talked about some of her mental health. We all have mental health challenges, let's be real. But some of the things that she was dealing with where she just felt like she wasn't in a great headspace and things like that. And so, look, there's more to life than the game. If this is all we get out of Lexi, it's been awesome. Who knows? Maybe she takes 2 or 3 years off, maybe, and comes back. It wouldn't be the first time it's happened.
Love the inside look of Fox Run, which has been done on this show. Also, Chandler Withington, founder of Archive 22. And Jay, it's always been a fun show. Always fun to be with you.
Oh, love being with you too, buddy. Wish we could do another one right now.
And how do we end the show?
Hit 'em straight, St. Louis.